For this video, I got all the written parts filled in already, so you don't have to watch me write it all out. But you've got your conditional statements. I've got a real good view of my answers. Remember that your converse is your conditional statement, and you've got it flipped. So instead of your measure 60 coming first and your acute angle coming second, the acute angle comes first and the measure comes second. Your true false, they're pretty easy to figure out once you've got it written down. Just give it a casual thought. As an example, if you've got an acute angle, it could be 40 degrees instead of 60 degrees, so it doesn't have to be 60. If an angle does not have a measure of 60, then it's not acute. That's not true. Again, we could have a 40-degree angle. Doesn't have a measure of 60 degrees, but it's still acute. And of course, you've got your contrapositive. So flip the order. I've got my measure coming second, my angle acuteness coming first, and I've got it negated. So I have my isn't and my doesn't. On the second part of it, you've got the same basic thing. Again, this is my conditional statement. I flip the order for my converse. I have the original order and negate it, so I've got my knots in there for the inverse. And then my contrapositive, I've got the flipped order and it's negated. And when you do this, some of you are going to get caught up on the wording. Do I keep these words? What you want to do is you pick out the important pieces. The angles being vertical is important. So you'll notice when I write it, if two angles are vertical, it makes sense in English. I don't have to say if two angles they are vertical. I don't have to do that. If two angles are vertical, then they are congruent. Again, don't have to use the word two angles from the front. I just flip the important pieces. The congruency needs to be in the back for my converse. The vertical angles need to be in front. And then how you put the rest of your wording, you just need to make sure it makes sense in English. Counterexamples. You got two ways to throw out a counterexample. The first way is to write it out. If an angle is obtuse and its measure is 150 degrees, that's not true. You could have any other angle that's above 90 and less than 180. So 150 is an obtuse angle that's not 120. If a figure is a rectangle, then it is a square. Well, here's a figure. I've got my right angles labeled. My sides are obviously different as far as the opposite pairs. So it is a rectangle, but it's not a square. So this one, I gave a counterexample as a picture. On the other page, last couple of ones that I was going to have pre-written, writing your if-then statement. A triangle has three sides. Again, you're going to write it in an if-then statement, and you're going to use the two big ideas to do so. In this one, the big idea, we have a triangle, and it's going to have three sides. So I'm going to lead off. Now you'll notice if it is a triangle is not what I have. I use the word polygon. You can use the word shape. There are a lot of different ways to have this sentence make sense using these ideas. So if a polygon is a triangle, then it has three sides. I've got my triangle thing. I've got my three sides. They're in the right order. I've got my if-thens. This is going to work. It's not the only way it could work. If a shape is a triangle, if a figure is a triangle, all that kind of stuff you could use. Plastic objects are durable. Again, plastic objects, I'm going to have that first, durable second. If an object is plastic, then it is durable. I added an is in between plastic and object. I mean, it's, feel free. Have a good time with it. You just need those big ideas. Biconditional. I've got a 90-degree angle. That makes it a right triangle. If I have a right triangle, then it's a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to turn it into a biconditional. I like to use the double F if for if and only if. A triangle has a 90-degree angle if and only if it is a right triangle. Again, there's going to be no if and then. You're going to have the if and only if here in the middle. Write that out if you want to. If and only if it is a right triangle. You just need to make sure that your statement makes sense. Write a counterexample. The average of any two consecutive even numbers is an even number. Consecutive means next to each other. So my counterexample will just be 4 plus 6 over 2. That's going to be 10 over 2, which is 5. That's a great counterexample. It's not even, it's odd, ready to go. Any four-sided polygon is a square. This is an excellent opportunity for, something like that, not a square. Maybe get a little bit better four-sided there. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a drawing. You could write in rhombus or rectangle, however you wanted to do it. Is a biconditional quadrilateral is a square if and only if it's a parallelogram, true or false? It's going to be false. And the reason is because parallelograms don't have to be square. All right? Don't have to be square. So it can be a square being a parallelogram, but the parallelogram doesn't necessarily make it a square. The converse would not be true. So you would have your two conditional statements. This is a terrible explanation. Let's get you a better explanation. Two conditional statements would be if it's a square, then it's a parallelogram. And then your other one would be if it's a parallelogram, then it's a square. This one, your converse, is not true. Therefore, that biconditional statement cannot be written. Does not work. Let's get on to our patterns. I've got 113, 224, 335, 446. Those next two terms, I'm increasing my first two numbers by one digit, so 55, and then my second by one digit, so 557 and 668. This one, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, and plus 7. My next one, I've got plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, easy enough, 25, 30. Oh, there we go, 25 and 30. Let's go onward. On 14, this one, you've got times 3, times 3, times 3, so 162. And then times 3, so 486. 486. Yeah. All right. This one, times negative 3, times negative 3, times negative 3. So I will have, I'm going to have to punch this one. I know this is going to be 243. And then I'm going to take 243 times 3. This is going to give me 729. So negative 729. Make sure we follow those. Now, these, I kind of drew these next ones out. They take a little bit of time. I didn't want to waste a whole bunch of your time with me drawing them out. This one's going to be 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Number 17 is actually shaded if you look real close, and that the new block is going to be clear. The old blocks are going to be shaded. And then, of course, number 18, you're going to add, you've got your shaded square, circle hole, shaded square inside the circle, circle hole, shaded square inside the circle, and it's going to be a little bit smaller. All right, we got our true, false coming up. Determine whether or not the statements are true. I've got A, B, D, and J coplanar. Yes. You'll notice all on this plane K. EBA is a right angle. It looks like it's a right angle, but I cannot determine that. It's not marked. It's not marked. EGA are collinear. So EGA, you'll notice E and G are on plane K, and that the E and A rather are on plane K, and G is on plane H, so not collinear. I've got FG is perpendicular. Again, it's going to look that way. FG is perpendicular to plane H. It's actually not. It lies in plane H. Fantastic. That makes it easy. ABD and EBC are vertical angles. That's true. Planes H and K intersect at line AB. Here's that intersection line. That's true. FG and DE intersect. So here's FG. Here's DE. You'll notice they are skewed. DE is up and down like this, and then FG is over here to the side, so they do not intersect. And then last, GCA and CBD are congruent angles. They are not vertical. GCA is in this plane, and CBD is in this plane, so not vertical, cannot tell a false. We'll cut the video here.